Hi, in this edition of The Week in Numbers, we shall talk about 5 key numbers or data points from the past week. Let's begin with the first one. The central government has released its GST Borrowing Plan for the current financial year. According to the official statement issued by the Finance Ministry, an estimated 1.1 trillion rupees will be borrowed by the central government. The borrowing will take place in tranches under a special RBI window. The central government will borrow the money and lend this money to those states that opt for debt to fill their revenue gap this fiscal arising from the low GST collection. The borrowings will show as debt in the books of the states, and the centre's fiscal deficit will be unaffected by this borrowing. The centre will only act as a facilitator to ensure that all states get loans at the same rate. So far, 21 states and 2 union territories have opted for this option of bridging their GST shortfall with debt. However, 9 states, ruled by the non-NDA parties, have opposed this proposal. They want money to be given to them as GST compensation and not as debt. This deadlock between centre and states is threatening to disrupt hard-earned political consensus over GST, as several states are planning to move Supreme Court against the centre's proposal to compensate the GST losses as debt. The development comes at a time when states are witnessing a sharp decline in GST receipts because of the coronavirus pandemic. India's export rose for the first time in 7 months, with the merchandise export registering a 6% growth in September. According to the data released by the Commerce Ministry, India's exports rose to $27 billion, while imports contracted to $30 billion, resulting in a trade deficit of approximately $3 billion in September. Even as this gap narrowed, the trade deficit during the first 6 months of the financial year stands at $23.4 billion. India's merchandise trade was weakening even before COVID-19 outbreak. In 13 of the last 15 months, India's exports were in the negative. Since March 2020, both exports and imports started falling, temporarily leading to a trade surplus in June for the first time in 18 years. The reduction in trade deficit during September is due to an increase in exports and a sharp drop in import of gold. Gold imports dropped 53% in September to $600 million. However, gold imports may rise in the next 2 months with the festive season. While the reasonably broad-based rise in merchandise exports during September is a welcome signal for the Indian economy, there is a need to wait and watch the export-import trends for the couple of months to see whether the growth is sustainable also in the second half of the year. As a part of its ongoing round of funding, the food tech unicorn Zomato has raised $52 million from the US-based Quora investment. Last month also, Zomato received a funding of $62 million from Singapore-based Temasek and an additional $103 million from US-based hedge fund Tiger Global. Zomato expects to raise capital worth $600 million in the ongoing round, out of which it has already raised $270 million so far in this year. In last year, 2019-20, Zomato doubled its revenue to $394 million, although losses also increased marginally to $293 million. The current market valuation of Zomato is $3.3 billion. In comparison, Zomato's rival Swiggy has raised $156 million in the first half of this year, mainly from Naspers, and is currently valued at $3.6 billion. Zomato founder and CEO Deepinder Goyal has told that Zomato is likely to go public in the first half of next year. Zomato's plan on going public is making it an attractive proposition for investment by hedge funds as they see faster exits. US-based private equity firm Elysium Asia Holdings, also known as KKR, has invested 5,500 crore rupees into Reliance Retail Ventures Limited. Reliance Retail Venture is a subsidiary of Reliance Industries Limited. KKR's investment translates into a 1.28% equity stake in Reliance Retail. The deal values Reliance Retail at 4.21 lakh crores. This is KKR's second investment in Reliance Industries this year. Earlier this year, KKR had invested 11,367 crore in Reliance Jio platform. The digital and the retail business are expected to be the future growth drivers for Reliance Industries Limited. To strengthen its retail business, Reliance has acquired Kishore Biyani's Future Group for nearly 25,000 crore in August this year. Reliance has attracted over half a dozen global companies for investment in its retail business, including KKR, Silver Lake, General Atlantic, Mubadala Investment, GIC, and Abu Dhabi Investment Authority. In a span of last 1 month, Reliance has raised a total of 37,710 crore rupees in exchange of 8.48% stake in its retail business. IIFL Wealth and Hurun India released its India Under 40 Rich List 2020. The list shows a 59% rise in the cumulative wealth of the wealthiest Indians under the age of 40 years. The Hurun India Under 40 Rich List is a compilation of 17 young self-made Indian entrepreneurs with a wealth of 1,000 crore rupees or above. With a wealth of 24,000 crore rupees, Nitin Kamath and Nikhil Kamath tops the list. Kamath brothers are the founders of online trading platform Zerodha. Zerodha is India's largest stockbroker in terms of the number of clients. At 26 years, Ritesh Agarwal of Oyo Rooms is the youngest self-made entrepreneur in the list. Devita Saraf, founder of VU Technologies, is the only woman in the list. VU Technologies is a television manufacturing company which she founded in 2006. With 9 individuals, Bengaluru is the most preferred city for business headquarters of these young creators. Looking at industry-wise breakup, logistics and retail are the major contributors of wealth for young entrepreneurs. Here's a list of India's self-made entrepreneurs below the age of 40. This edition of the Weekend Numbers concludes here. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel to get weekly updates. Thank you.